What's up? How are you guys doing? I'm not going to be on here for long because Danny is doing an interview at 7 o'clock with Dear Woke Christian. Um, and I'm excited to hear about that or look at it, listen to it, and see what that's about. So please check that out. It is on all of the X platforms, and then Danny posted on her page as well. So, bada bing, bada boom. All right. Well, um, for the last week and a half, I have been talking about it's RICO time, and it's RICO time for me, meaning Operation Greylord 2.0. If you guys don't know about Operation Greylord or what a RICO case is or RICO charges, which is Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, then I'm going to break down all this and why I feel like it's RICO time for Cook County, City of Chicago, and it's going to happen because the only way that you're going to be able to stop all of the shenanigans from everybody, from the Hispanic KKK socialists to the old Chicago machine sellouts, to the new machine that's trying to be built by some of these people. So the only way that we can end all of this is with Operation Greylord 2.0 and a RICO case. And I am going to do a RICO case, a civil RICO case, and a conspiracy case in my current case that we have with the City of Chicago, Buildings Department, Alderman David Moore, Marlene Hopkins, say the City of Chicago, and Bradley Wilson, who is the attorney on the case, because they filed a fraudulent deed back in the 2020 case my mother had, and that wasn't done properly, and it wasn't due diligence, and they did it on purpose. They have been trying to fight against my mother since 2017 because the overall issue is Daley Jr. Had promised that land to Stephen Qualkenbush. This is not a made up. This is not anything like this. This is the truth. And the issue is it was supposed to be sealed and done with in 2020 when they put that fraudulent deed in that case, and the judge did not look into it. And our lawyer that my mom had at the time, he sold the case out to the city of Chicago. And we're also working on a legal malpractice case separately on him. His name is James Velasquez or whatever. How you say his last name, Mom? Velakowitz, whatever. But he also did some work with the city. So that's what they be on. That's what they've always been on. They always they'll pay more to have people sabotage the case instead of the city just being right and paying for their wrongdoings, because the city is built on the city of Chicago, and the Democratic machine in Chicago is built on corruption. They're built on corruption. They're built, and they want to keep that mob mentality, that corrupt mentality in the name of the Democratic Party, and they're going to get it by any means necessary. But they have found the right one. So we're going to continue to keep it going. But this time we have everything. We have social media. We have our video. We can record. We have public comment. We have I know how to do my own lawsuits. I don't need a lawyer. You understand? They haven't even responded to my First Amendment complaint, except Tony Preckwinkle's attorney. But the rest of them have not, because I have all the evidence proving that they violated my First Amendment for the last 2 years down at the city, because I'm fighting for justice for my family, on top of fighting for the rest of the people in Chicago who are dealing with theft properties, the theft of our properties, land grabs, the abuse of the TIF abuse, the TIF money that's being abused, the bond money that's being abused, and just overall, these people they don't care about the U.S. Constitution. So let's get into it. A RICO case is Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organizations Act. Is a powerful legal tool used to target and dismantle criminal organizations and corrupt enterprises. As y'all know, the city of Chicago is a corrupt enterprise and a criminal organization. It is often, especially the city of Chicago law department. The city of Chicago law department is so corrupt, it's insane, and they all need to be brought down. It is often used for large-scale criminal activities, particularly involving organized crime, corruption, and fraud. RICO stands for Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, which was passed in 1970 as part of the Organized Crime Control Act. The law was designed to target criminal organizations involved in racketeering activities. However, it has since been expanded to cover a wide range of illegal activities and is often used to prosecute political corruption, fraud, money laundering, bribery, and other forms of organized crime. Enterprise. The first requirement is that there must be an enterprise involved in the racketeering activity, which is a government agency or gang. And the real gang is the government agency by the name of the City of Chicago, okay, in Cook County. The City of Chicago, in my case, it was the officials, contractors, and developers that formed an enterprise, and they are engaged in corrupt activities like unlawful demolitions, fraudulent land deeds. Like I said, the City of Chicago is running an eminent domain scheme in the buildings department, and they keep knocking down our properties in the name of building violations. They're not in police powers, which they don't have the police powers to knock down anybody's buildings unless it's an abandoned building, but unless you go to buildings court. And that's the part that they skip, and they've been doing it for a long time. They conspire with people like ComEd and stuff like that to continue to do it. They have their favorite developers that they go and get kickbacks and stuff like that for. So if you know, or you are a victim of anybody that they have unlawfully demolished your building, taking your land in the name of building violations, and you did not go to court, or did not get a court order or see a court order, that is your part of the RICO case too. Okay, you have a RICO case too, because it's organized crime that they continue to do, and they will continue to do it if we don't put a stop to it. All right. Now, also, you have the racketeering activity. So that law defines racketeering activity as a series of criminal acts committed by the enterprise. This includes bribery, fraud, money laundering, extortion, and other felonies. So like how they bribe every lawyer in Chicago, that's why you can't get a lawyer to represent you. Yeah, that is part of the racketeering that they do. They launder money through TIF money and money bonds and all of those things. And then they extort it's a strong armed robbery, and it's elderly abuse as well, because they only come at the elders when it comes to that. For my case, the racketeering activities would be misrepresentation of illegal actions to take ownership of property and demolish it illegally, like how they got the demolition permit. And when you look at the demolition permit, it says the City of Chicago owned the Sandpiper Lounge, and they know They have never owned that lounge. Okay. And then you have the city officials and contractors who bribe to approve demolitions or rezone properties like they always do. They always do a little rezone, and they love to rezone. They love to rezone properties and do all that weird stuff too. And bribe the city of Chicago Law Department will bribe the other lawyers who are representing you with offering them money, offering them other cases so they cannot do your case, because at the end of the day, they have been, again, this is a money laundering scheme that they've been doing for a long time in the name of building violations. Okay, so that's another thing. All right. And then we go to the conspiracy, which is with multiple individuals working together to carry out the unlawful demolitions for personal gain, and then lying about it, with putting fraudulent deeds in that's not recorded with the Cook County, but file them in court cases and letting senile, corrupt, racist judges sign off on it. Okay. Then you have the extortion, which is using threats or intimidation to force property owners to sell or vacate, allowing for illegal demolitions like the building violations, and then basically telling them that if like they told my mom and my godfather, that if he didn't tell my mother to get up out the meeting when they were trying to talk about them taking the property and TIF money, that was what, Terry Peterson? Latasha Thomas, that they weren't going to talk to my godfather, they wasn't going to help her. The same with Alderman David Moore, who also told my mother that he wasn't going to be talking to her if she didn't bring him back a PowerPoint and all this stuff. And they did all this because they were already mad that the fact that who did my mother think she is, when we already gave this land and the Sandpiper Lounge to Stephen Quackenbush. We already put a save-a-lot on your land, and we not paying you. So what makes you think that we're going to pay you for the Sandpiper Lounge? No, you're not going to get it at all. This is the city. The city that we are a criminal organization. We ride or die. We take an oath to this government system. You're not getting anything. Okay, we'll pay your lawyer millions of dollars to mess up this case instead of just paying you, because at the end of the day, we're untouchable. We're going to always be untouchable. You're not going to be able to mess up this machine. That's their way of thinking, right? A RICO case requires showing a pattern of racketeering activity. This means the enterprise engaged in at least 2 acts of racketeering and felony offenses within a 10-year period. I can bring them 46 acts of racketeering within a 10-year period. And I know probably them people can probably date back and bring some people from 20 years to 30 years. That is how bad it has gotten in the city of Chicago, and the feds have not been able to they haven't been able to do anything. The act should be related in some way, but they all stem from the same goal of illegally demolishing properties and participating in corrupt land deals like they do all day, started at that land bank, that city land bank too, and over there, the delinquent taxes. That's a whole nother, like I said, that's a whole nother thing. Okay. So you have 2 things. There's criminal penalties, but the feds would have to go in. And do that, but you can get 20 years per violation. So I really want them to get all the years that they can get. Then they have the civil penalties, which we're filing a civil conspiracy case and a civil RICO case. And victims can sue for triple the amount of damages suffered as a result of the racketeering activity. One of the other reasons why they have not solved this case yet is because my mother is suing for $3 billion. And at first it was just the principal and hoping that they would sit down with my mom and settle for a decent amount. But at this point, the $3 billion is old, because y'all just continue to create more fraud instead of just saying, you know what? let's sit down and talk. Let's figure out a number and let it be gone. Let it be over. Yeah, yeah. Like my mom said, they prevented my mom from doing housing for veterans because they were on their own stuff. Now, let's get into Operation Greylord. When I first started fighting this case in 2023 in the summertime and stuff, and just researching and looking stuff up and just saying, like, I mean, has anybody ever did like a raid in the government here, or do they only do the raids? Like, does the government ever get raided? Because ain't no way in the world that this corruption is just going to continue to happen. So I found Operation Greylord. And so Operation Greylord was a groundbreaking FBI investigation in the 1980s that exposed systematic corruption in Cook County, Illinois court system. The operation, which lasted from 1980 to 1983, was one of the largest corruption investigations in history. Corruption uncovered the investigation. It uncovered widespread bribery, case fixing, and other corrupt activities involving judges, lawyers, court officials, and law enforcement officers in Cook County. Judges were found to be accepting bribes in exchange for favorable rulings in criminal cases, divorces, and other legal matters. Lawyers were also implicated in the bribery scheme, often acting as often acting as both between corrupt judges and individuals seeking favorable decisions. So acting like they're on your side whole time, they working with the corrupt judge and the prosecutor and anybody else because they're getting that money. The FBI launched a series of undercover operations, including having agents pose as corrupt prosecutors and defense attorneys to gather evidence. One of the key figures in the investigation was Assistant State's Attorney at the time, Terrence Hake, who went undercover and helped gather critical evidence. Okay, shout out to Terrence Hake. A total of 93 public officials were indicted, including 17 judges, 48 lawyers, 10 deputy sheriffs, and several other court employees. The investigation led to convictions of several high-ranking individuals, including judges, attorneys, and led to a significant public scandal. Many of the individuals were sentenced to prison, with some receiving long prison terms. Operation Greylord was a catalyst for a judicial reform in Cook County. I don't know what judicial reform it was because it's worse. It's actually worse. The scandal resulted in increased scrutiny of the judicial system and led to reforms aimed at preventing future corruption. Well, what were the what reforms? I need to figure out what reforms, because they're still doing it to this day, and it's 2025. Okay. It also served as a model for tackling corruption within the legal and judicial systems nationwide. The operation remains one of the most notable examples of FBI efforts to tackle public corruption, and its success helped bring about change in how the judicial system operates in the United States. All right. So now I'm ready for Operation Greylord 2.0. Okay, and this time we're going to go to 121 North LaSalle. Okay, we can start with the 5th floor, then we could start with them 50 disgraced aldermen, and then we could sit here and talk about 118 North Clark Street, which is the Cook County side, which Tony Preckwinkle and them are over there, and then we go over here to the Daley Center, where when the corruption just keeps on corrupting, because who was it named after? Daley. So you understand what I'm saying? So they end with Timothy Evans. You can start with Timothy Evans. He needs to go to jail. Kwame Raoul needs to go to jail. Those are DEI hires. Okay, those are the things that Trump be talking about. Trump talking about DEI, about who you got. That's why you got to get rid of people like him. Then you've got the no good, do nothing Black Caucus. Then you've got people like Walter Burnett Jr. that needs to be up out of their jail or wherever, resign, whatever. Jesse White already got up out of there because he already knew what time it was. So I'm saying, like, then you've got Toni Preckwinkle that's holding on by them ankles. She has to resign. It's just a lot of people that gotta go. Okay, they gotta go. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. So then you have to deal with Richard Daley. See, Richard Daley Jr., his father was one of the worst people in American history, okay? And then he also is one of the worst children in American history that kept this going, okay? So you've got Richard M. Daley, who's still controlling whatever little bit at 84 years old. His old ass is still controlling a lot of stuff that he needs. So he needs to go to jail too. You got Madigan and Burke. Daley Jr., you're next, okay? You're next if this case does not get settled by March 31st. What time? 2025. March 31st, 2025, if you don't settle my family's case, okay? So I'm just letting you know this, but let's get into Richard Daley. Richard M. Daley Jr., the former mayor of Chicago from 1989 and 2011. How did y'all let him be that mayor that long? How? Okay, had a long tenure marked by significant developments and controversies. Okay, now his administration was notorious for what? Corporation scandals, of course, including the hired truck program, where city contracts were awarded based on political connections rather than merit, DEI, sort of, but only the white man way. Okay, his tenure continued Chicago's long history of machine politics favoring allies and insiders and black old sellouts. Yes, sir. Please, he just gave me $2,000 for my house. Thank you, Daley. Yes, you understand what I'm saying? That's for them. Then you have the parking meter lease that was 2008, which was one of the most controversial decisions and the dumbest decision of all. Chicago leased its parking meters to a private company for $1.15 billion in a rush deal, leading to skyrocketing rates and decades of lost revenue. Richard Daley, okay, Richard M. Daley Jr., one of the dumbest mayors. Y'all talking about the one we got now. Yeah, he dumb too, but not dumb like this. This is a dummy. Okay. Then you got the Skyway toll bridge. Okay, he sold everything. He was a crackhead. He's giving crackhead. He sold all of Chicago away, and y'all let this nigga be the mayor for that long. The Skyway toll bridge and downtown parking garages were also privatized, benefiting private firms at the city long-term expense. Let's get into the education failure. Okay, Daley took control of Chicago public schools. Now, why would y'all do that? Why would y'all let Daley take over the Chicago public schools? And my mom saying the University of Chicago in 1990s, but despite some improvements, what improvement did, anyway, many schools remain underperforming. His Renaissance 2010 program shut down neighborhood schools and replaced them with charters, often leading to displacement without substantial improvement. That's all the city of Chicago do is displace. They displace everybody. Especially niggas, they love to displace us, and y'all allow it. Y'all allow it. The Democratic machine has allowed this man to do all this because I just can't vote for red. I just can't vote for red. I just can't. Stockholm syndrome. While crime dropped overall, and but he also saw multiple police misconduct scandals, including the fallout of the torture cases. They was torturing all them people while Daley was in there torturing them people. Them police was torturing them people and forcing police to brutalize black suspects to force confessions. That's why right now we're paying out, all of the taxpayers is paying out all this money thanks to these torturing cases of your favorite mayor, Richard Daley Jr. Okay? And then he just kindly slipped away. Daley's budget decision left Chicago in a financial hole, including stealing all the TIF money. Okay, the TIF money was his piggy bank. Okay, which was meant for economic development, but of course, as you see, we don't know economic development on the South Side and the West Side either. Okay, the city's pension crisis worsened, as you see. It's messed up now. Under his leadership due to underfunding and financial mismanagement, aka stealing. Okay. Then he demolished, of course, the public housing. The public housing that his no good daddy put up. Okay. Under the plan for transformation, he dismantled public housing like Cabrini Green and Robert Taylor homes, displacing thousands of Black families with promises of mixed income housing that never came. It's not here now. It's not here now. Okay. And now they're really pushing us out now. And y'all are sitting here talking about we can't go red. We just can't. We got to keep it blue. For what? For the little bit that we have left. We don't have much left over here. Okay? His infrastructure and environmental problems. His administration pushed for large-scale infrastructure projects, but some were riddled with cost overruns and lacked community input because he didn't care about the community. Because he was stealing. Okay? The Midway Airport deal fell apart at the last minute, causing another financial blunder. He don't care. All these blunders, y'all just let him just mess the city up. All right. My mom also said that he took away Meg's fields, and nobody don't talk about that. So he didn't ask no permission. He just said, you know what? Get rid of Meg's field. Okay. Daley ruled with an iron grip. Okay. He didn't care. He's going to do what he was going to do. Now, that was a dictator. You want to talk about a dictator? Him and his daddy. Dictators. Okay? And then you've got these slow-ass Black politicians in there letting them do whatever. See, that's Daley. You know, that's Daley boy. We got to let him do it. You understand? Because that's Daley boy. You understand? Like, what? Then you go to Rahm Emanuel, who served from 2011 to 2019. And you know what he was famous for? The Laquan McDonald cover-up, one of the biggest scandals ever, okay? The police shooting. The police shooting of Laquan McDonald in 2014. His administration fought to suppress the dash cam, including the silent 8 of them Black aldermen that we already talked about one of them. Michelle Harris. Of course, she's going to be down with anything that's not for the people. Okay. So, yeah, but she was one of the silent 8. She was one of the silent 8 when it came to this and all that stuff. Let's see what else we got. It led to massive protests in Justice Department, stuff like that. Okay. Then let's get into these school closures. Okay. In 2013, this is y'all, and the fact that y'all think that he's going to run for president in 2018, Michelle Obama ran him out the White House when he was chief of staff for Obama. And made and Obama, to keep the peace, he let him be mayor. Be mayor here. You understand? To keep messing it up. And regardless of how y'all feel about Kanye West, like Kanye West said, he messed up Chicago. Rahm Emanuel and R.I.C.O Emanuel is up there. It was in L.A. messing up Hollywood. Yeah, they both some trash. Both trash. But in 2013, he closed 50 public schools, the largest mass school closure in the U.S. And you want him to be in any political, he needs to be in jail. He needs to be in jail as well. Okay? He pushed for more charter schools by underfunding public education, worsening inequality, but he don't care about inequality because he's a racist. Okay? His handling of the Chicago Teachers Union led to multiple strikes, but the Chicago Teachers Union is a criminal organization too, so it is what it is. Of course, he abused TIF money too, because that's what they do. They abuse that TIF money. Okay. Um, I don't know. Emanuel continued the misuse of tax increment finance funding, diverting money meant for economic development in struggling areas to benefit wealthy developers and corporate projects. It just keeps on going. You understand? It just keeps on going. Even the pensions worsened under his leadership, but it don't matter as long as y'all get y'all pensions, right? As long as y'all get y'all pensions. His administration prioritized corporate interests over working class Chicagoans, of course, giving mass tax breaks and subsidies to companies like Amazon, McDonald's, and Sterling Bay, while neighborhoods suffer from disinvestment. But Trump is the problem. This is a Democrat right here. He gave massive tax breaks to Amazon, McDonald's, and Sterling Bay right here in the city of Chicago, but Trump is the problem. Also, his policies accelerated gentrification, especially in the West Loop and the South Loop, displacing longtime residents. Okay. Police reform failures, of course, despite federal investigations into CPD. Emanuel was slow to implement reforms because he was trying to suppress the Laquan McDonald stuff. Okay, you had to figure that out. Okay. People called for independent civilian oversight board and stronger police accountability measures because he didn't care. Then let's get into the mental health clinics that he started closing in 2012. He shut down half of Chicago's public mental health clinics, leaving vulnerable population without crucial services. And guess what? The worst thing that he did, he contributed to the homelessness and crime. Yes. Former Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who y'all are talking about, maybe he could be a good candidate for 2028 for the president of the United States. Okay? No, this ain't the president. Okay? Hostile leadership style. He is known for his aggressive, take no prisoners political style. Okay? A dictator too. Okay? Often alienating community activists, teachers, and even members of his own party. His refusal to seek a third term was largely due to public outrage over his handling of crime, policing, and school closures, and that Laquan McDonald Act. Nobody was not going to let him be back as mayor. No, yeah, he failed Chicago terribly. Okay? Then, you talk about Lori Lightfoot. Okay, Lori Lightfoot was Chicago's mayor from 2019 to 2023, and she also was an alcoholic, and y'all let her in there, and y'all should have known that because she didn't care about her suits, her haircut, or basically anything which I was talking about. Okay, despite promising to tackle crime, violent crime, and carjacking, they surged. When she was in office, her relationship with CPD was inconsistent because she campaigned on police reform, but later took more aggressive stance on crime, alienating both activists and law enforcement. Of course, the handling of protests of George Floyd thing, but a lot of them was paid protesters, so I'll get that to you. She clashed with everybody. Okay, the teachers union, the police union, her barber, her tailor, nobody. Her wife, community activist. Yeah, she was the worst. She's an alcoholic though. You understand? She often ruled with a combative and dismissive leadership because she did say she had the biggest balls in America. She said that, and that would really hurt her. That's really hurt her. Like, girl, why would you ever say that, Miss Lightfoot? Why would you ever say that? Anyway, she which hurt her ability to build coalitions and push through reforms. Even progressive allies abandoned her, even though she signed that executive order. They cornered her, Carlos Ramirez Rosa and Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez to sign that executive order that the police can't work with ICE. Because they have something They had something on her too, because when she was in there, all she was dedicated was to the Jews and the white people. Okay, she didn't care about us too. The Invest Southwest money was never going to get over here. Okay, a few little things was happening there. Like if you go on the website, they had a few little development going on, but it wasn't now. So now the money is being laundered through housing bonds through your favorite mayor that you have right now, with the 6.6 approval rating. All right. Of course, she mishandled COVID-19. Anybody that was in a blue city that was a mayor and a governor handled COVID-19 terribly. Like I will give credit when credit is due. The governor of Georgia, when Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor, was trying to have us all be shut in and not go out and all that stuff, that governor was like, hell no, nope. You understand? And no, and Atlanta made a lot of money during COVID. Okay, we was outside while y'all were in here talking to yourself. Okay, while they was stealing all the COVID money, they stole so much. They stole so much COVID money. It's ridiculous how much COVID money they stole, because y'all was sitting in the house talking to yourself while we was in Florida, Texas, and Georgia was turned up. Even Mexico made a lot of money too, and because of us, we made Tulum. Never forget that. Chicago's homelessness worsened under her leadership. I mean, it worsens under every leadership, because the Democratic Party, the only way that they're going to continue to get money and stuff is oppression. So oppression is anything that's poor. So homelessness, shootings, underfunding our communities on purpose so they can keep getting money and stealing it, but it don't never go to where it's supposed to go to. The Bring Chicago Home initiative, which aimed to raise taxes on high-end properties and fund homelessness services, failed due to lack of political support. And also, when they tried to redo it with Brandon Johnson, that also didn't work. So yeah, the Bring Chicago Home thing was a fail twice. She made broken promises with the police reform. Of course, she had TIF mismanagement too, because she was giving all the TIF money to everybody but us. Okay. The deal with NASCAR and a push for a casino downtown, Bally's, was criticized. And look what's going on now. Look what's happening. Look what's happening now with that NASCAR. That is the worst. I can't believe NASCAR is here. They doesn't make sense. NASCAR can go to Indy. Indiana is down the street. Indianapolis is down the street. That is where NASCAR needs to be. That does not make any sense why we can't go downtown for that weekend, because no one even cares about NASCAR that much in Chicago. Chicago care about food, that lake, stepping, music, culture, arts, comedy. That's what Chicago cares about. You know, it does not care about NASCAR and Bally's Casino. When Horseshoe, you got Rivers, and you got all those other that was a wash. House music, that was we don't care about NASCAR or what was it, Bally's Casino. That's why it's messed up. That's why they in our neighborhoods trying to beg us to buy a share of Bally's Casino. No, absolutely not. Of course, due to the sanctuary city status, Lightfoot struggled to handle the influx of migrants and failing to provide adequate shelter and resources. And I'll tell you this, that there's a budget that's out, right, for the migrant money. The only budget that's when they stop putting all the stuff in the budget, because now people start paying attention. But when you look at a lot of that money that was allocated to like first was it Another Chance Church and stuff like that. There was a couple of other places in the South Side stuff. They were getting like shit. Another Chance Church got like $300,000, and they did not house one migrant. That was under her like administration. Just like a couple of other churches, also some black businesses we're getting like this one place in Bronzeville. She was a she does what is it called, man? I can't even think of it right now. Events and stuff. She does events and stuff. Like she was an event planner, and she got about $100,000 for putting migrants in her place. Where are you gonna put them? Where was you putting them in your little place? You were on the tables, on the chairs. Where were you housing them? But that was under her. Like that literally was under Laura Lightfoot. She scared Ken Griffin away. Ken Griffin was trying to help out. She scared the richest man that was in Chicago, who also was a Republican. She scared him away, okay, because he said, "Oh yeah, you don't know what you're doing," and he ran straight to Florida. Okay. Let's see. She became the first Chicago mayor in 40 years to lose re-election after just one term. Wait until they see what's going to happen in the next term with Brandon Johnson. Okay, she's finished third. Her low approval ratings reflected the dissatisfaction from both the left, the right, the up, the down, the corners. She was trash, okay? And showing her failure to build a strong coalition. Okay, now I'll tell you this. My mother campaigned for her because she was in hopes of her helping my mom with this situation that we're dealing with now. On top of that, when I was living in Atlanta and working with Killer Mike and stuff, my mother kept telling me to get luncheon tickets and stuff. She wanted to go to luncheon tickets. These luncheon tickets, $500, because she wants to sit with her or be able to talk to her to see if she can help her with this case, because she ran on that she was going to anybody that had a case against the city, she would settle it. Yeah, she told WTTW this. So my mother was holding her to that, and my mother worked on her campaign. On top of that, I paid for tickets for my mother to meet with this lady. This was way before I got in this, knew anything about this or how I am now. So when people always say, "Well, why are you going in on Brandon Johnson?" Well, my mother had a lawyer at the time. But she went to him. She went to Lori Lightfoot. She went to Rahm Emanuel when this happened. She has all the paperwork, everything that she did. She did this. Now I'm here because at the end of the day, y'all not about to play with my mother, and my mother tried everything. I didn't know this man was running for office. I didn't know who was running for office at the time. All I know is that the city of Chicago keep playing with my mom, and everybody. It was Paul Vallis was running. All these people were still running at that time. So I didn't know who was. I didn't vote for neither one. I didn't know who was in office, who was running, or anything like that. So yeah. So I'm in here. I need somebody to settle my mother's case. I don't care who it is. Donald Duck can do it. Just somebody settle this case. And now when they realize that, okay, this is he's weak, just like the rest of these people are weak. It just so happened it falls on him. Next, we got Brandon Johnson, and you already know he doesn't care about kids. He doesn't care about the schools. He don't care about mental health. He doesn't care about he doesn't care about anybody but himself. That CTU and that $3.5 million pension that he thinks that he's going to get, but he's not going to get that. Okay, and I'm telling you why he's not going to get that, because my mother's case not settled yet, and the feds is coming because he stole a lot of this immigration money, and he's stealing this Invest Southwest money by putting it in housing bonds and stuff like that. He also is giving away money to all these disgraced 50 aldermen because he just need the votes at this time, and he don't know what to do. So he's crashing out, stealing. I mean, giving all our tax-paying dollars to everybody, and I mean, giving to the city council. City council is they're starting to give these big bonuses to their employees and stuff because they're probably telling them, and I'm being real honest, they're probably telling them, go get y'all an attorney because the feds is coming. So we're going to give you this money right now. Start talking to these people because he giving out a lot of money real quick, real fast. Okay, the $832 million thing he just passed that some people shouldn't even voted for. They voted for it because they know that it's coming. Them silent eight, especially them silent eight, them 8 people, them 8 black aldermen that were silent and took that money from Rahm Emanuel. Or when it came to Laquan McDonald, count your days. Count your days. So y'all and the rest of y'all people. But yeah, he is the worst. He's going to be the sad thing is though, he's going to be the fall guy. He's going to be the fall guy when it comes to this because I'm gonna say he's gonna be the fall guy. He's gonna be the fall guy when it comes to this because he doesn't know how to govern. And then you've got people like when he went to the oversight hearing yesterday. Last week when he went there, he had who? They said he had Mayor Richardson-Lowry, who we're gonna get into real. That's the last one we're gonna talk about. Mayor Richardson-Lowry, which is now corporate counsel, and Rahm Emanuel and Lori Lightfoot prepping him, an alcoholic, a racist Jew, and Mayor Richardson-Lowry, who is holding on to dear life for Daley's dynasty that's about to come to a crash, prepping him. Like that is like you know how much money they stole from illegal immigration. Like they stole so much money with illegal immigration. It's crazy. Like he in trouble, and he know he in trouble. So that's why he keep trying to bring up the race card and all that stuff. No, baby. You as a Negro, as a black Negro, raising 3 black kids on the black side of Chicago, the black west side of Chicago with your black wife, you are going down all on your own. You decided to do this, you and whoever your handlers are. Now let's get into Mayor Richardson-Lowry because Mayor Richardson-Lowry also can settle this case because she is lead corporation counsel. But she's going around telling people who are in government in Illinois that are on the Republican side that are reaching out when it comes to me and Miss Jessica about our cases. Why won't they settle it? She's going around saying that the reason why she's not settling my case is because we don't have the evidence. Lady, I've been talking about this case for the last 2 years. It's documented on everything. It's in you have the case. You see the case. You have all of that. All the people that I met with, from Taliaferro to I met with all of them. I'm telling you who I met with from the Do Nothing Black Caucus. Yes, we have met with. Matter of fact, in June 2024, Jesse White, who was a friend of my mother, called Alderman and Vice Mayor Walter Burnett and told him to review our evidence and reach out to David Moore and the law department. Burnett Jr., the vice mayor, took my papers. 3 days later, during a meeting with some members of the Do Nothing Black Caucus, he told me the law department claimed they were handling it, and because the case was in court. Alderman Greg Mitchell, Alderwoman Monique Scott, Alderwoman Emma Mitz, chairman of the Black Caucus, the Do Nothing Black Caucus, and my dear socialite Alderwoman Stephanie Coleman, Chris Taliaferro, Ron Mosley, Walter Burnett Jr., all from the Chicago Black Caucus, have seen the evidence that me and Miss Jessica has presented. And you still, and the thing was, if Mary Richardson-Lowry did not want to sit down and settle with us, you were going to give us a press conference. They didn't want to give us the press conference because they've been stealing for so long. Okay? Yeah, and then they told her, then they tried to say Miss Jessica didn't have a will. Now we all know Miss Jessica got a will and she carried it in her purse all the time. Okay? Now, that's exactly why I went on the Breakfast Club. I went on the Breakfast Club because I saw the games that they were about to play and their allegiance to the system, not the people. So yeah, so that so they have all of that. So Mary Richardson-Lowry want to sit here and act like she don't know what we talking about. When I gave her, when she told me when she told me herself, she said give her the envelope, give her an envelope with the fraudulent deed or whatever I had. And I did that. All right. And I had her. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Lucy Lou. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah. So she has all the stuff. So to sit here and say that she don't have it, she's bugging. So anyway, Mary Richardson-Lowry, a Chicago attorney and a public official, has held various influential roles, including as the former Chicago Board of Education president and a key figure in city government under multiple administrations. While she is not, what did she say? There's notable criticisms tied to her leadership, like the Chicago Public Schools, as the president of the Chicago Board of Education 2009 to 2011 under Mayor Richard Daley. She oversaw school closures, budget deficits, and teacher layoffs, which impacted Black people. It doesn't matter as long as it impacts us, right? She had conflict with the Chicago Teachers Union over budget priorities and classroom conditions. She has a long-standing ties to Chicago's political machine, working under both Richard Daley and Rahm Emanuel, two crooks. Okay, and raising her concerns about her role inside politics and lack of transparency. Because yeah, she's not transparent at all. Okay, she's not transparent at all. Okay, she's actually a liar. She also represents the corporate friendly and the pro-business wing of Chicago. So that's another thing. She's for the system and for those rich developers and corporate. Okay? She don't care about the police and anything like that. But as a real estate and government affairs attorney, she has worked closely with developers and corporate interests, leading to concerns that she still prioritizes business deals over community needs. What she was trying to do with us. Okay? Now, I believe her and Richard Daley Jr. both have rent a law license because they're both the worst attorneys that I've ever met in my life, have seen in my life. This is not how you lawyer, okay? She is trying to hold on dear life to the little bit of Richard Daley dynasty that he has left. And they were trying to do anything to sabotage this case. Anything to sabotage my family's case because we have all our ducks were in a row. And they always make it seem like Black America or Black people, we don't have everything. We don't know what we're doing. See, it's always something. We missing something. We doing this. Like, yeah, like it's always, I don't have, no, we got everything. We got every piece of paper. We have voicemails. We have everything. Everybody know Daley struggled past the bar. Yes, it was a rental law license. Yeah, he probably paid her. Yeah, Cecil, who? Cecil Partee. That's who he paid. Oh, he took the law. Yeah, he took the bar. Took the exam. So yes. So that is why the city of Chicago is down the drain like this. That's why it's doo-doo. That's why the city of Chicago is doo-doo because because Mayor Daley from 1989 to 2011, and you can't blame it on me because I was 4 years old. Okay, so from 1989 to 2011, you let doo-doo Mayor Daley Jr. take it to the ground. I mean, drill it to the ground. He said, hey, have it all. He went to Dubai and said, y'all can have all of Chicago. Take it all. Take whatever you want. That's why the Ford, take it all. Take the toll bridge. What you want? Going to Daley Center? Whatever you want. What you want? Go to the whole South Side? Take the South Side. Want to take the West Side? Take whatever. Just give me the money. Just give me the money, and y'all just allow it to happen. While you just allow it to happen. Now, because of that, the city of Chicago taxpayers are paying billions in dollars of these police torturings that he let happen, okay? And then he got people like Mayor Richardson-Lowry that she used her pretty privilege, because I ain't gonna hold you. Mayor Richardson-Lowry, you fine. You a fine older lady, even with that big thing that you got, that lapel flower thing, and I believe that you got a camera in there and probably a gun and everything else up in that motherfucker. That is the camera for Daley. I need to see everything that's going on in the city hall. On everything that's going on in the city hall. That everything all big and all different colors. That's Daley in there. Daley is in that Daley's in that lapel. That big flower lapel that you got. Okay, that's real talk. But as you see that this is the problem. So he sold it out, and then you got people like her to use her pretty privilege, and he let her be whatever. You can be the board. You can be the board. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let you be the head of the school board of education. Yeah, keep messing it up like I did. Yeah. Then what else you want to do? You want to be the commissioner for the buildings department? Yeah, you got to be the commissioner of the buildings department. You'll look good in that. She was the commissioner of the buildings department. And then from that, once he got up out of there, once Rahm, he went and found her a nice little law firm to be, right? And then guess what happened? They seen that my mother's lawsuit went back in federal court. They said, "Oh hell no!" So then what he said, "Baby, get the lapel pin on, and I'm gonna tell that stupid mayor down there that you are gonna be corporate counsel because she came out of nowhere." And then they said she's the first. They say this is amazing. This one, she made history too. They say Mayor Richardson-Lowry is the first Black woman in the city's history to serve as Chicago's Corporation Counsel. I'm going to tell you this. If she doesn't settle my family's case, she'll also be the first Black woman in the city's history to go to federal prison on a RICO charge. If y'all better settle this case. Tell your man Daley Jr., tell whoever. I'm trying to tell you, you are going down. You, Bradley Wilson, Daley, Madigan waiting for you. Daley, Ron, all y'all, Bradley, the whole buildings department, all of y'all are going to jail. It's a RICO. So I'm trying to tell y'all about we gonna make history, all right? You gonna make history. And it's a good-looking woman. Look her up. Good-looking woman. Yeah. Okay, she put her hair down and everything. She probably couldn't see. She probably didn't have her contacts in because she looked like she's all over the place. But however, Mayor Richardson, settle my case. Settle my case. All right. So, glad to be here. I'm glad that the 131 people that decided to sit and listen to me, I appreciate this. Please share and like. I will be going back to City Council April 15th. That's when my band is over. And that's it. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, they already know that, Mom. But yeah, also, I got my lawsuit in there. Okay, my lawsuit is in there. Like I told you, they have not responded yet because I told them I want them to give Rosanna Rodriguez-Sanchez, Alderman David Moore, Sergeant at Arms Alvin Starks, and Michelle Harris the same treatment that they gave Alderman Jim Gardner. He had to go find his own lawyer. Okay, they didn't pay for it. They didn't pay for it, even though he got sued under him being an alderman, and he had to come out of his pocket. I want the same thing for them. I want them to go find their own lawyer, and I'm pretty sure Mayor Richardson-Lowry told them the same thing. Okay, so yeah, so they haven't responded. The only person that has responded so far is Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle people, and they asked to extend some time, and I let them extend some time because I know them ankles. I know them ankles need that time because they got to break it down to her. They need to break it down to Tony Preckwinkle that, ma'am, you did violate Zoe's rights 3 times when you did not let her talk. Okay, when you did not let her talk. Okay, so yeah, it's RICO time. It's RICO time in DuPage County. It's RICO time here in Chicago and Cook County. It's RICO time. Okay, because they doing Miss Jackie Sample terrible down in DuPage County when it comes to her divorce. Okay, she has a RICO too. She has a RICO too, but you can't find any attorneys out here because nobody don't want to go up against the system because they took an oath to this system. Okay, they took an oath to this system. Now I'm not scared of none of these people, and I'm going to continue. There's not nothing that y'all can say or do or come out my past and try to destroy what I got going on. No. I'm going to get justice for myself. I'm going to get justice for my family, and I'm going to get justice to Black Chicago because our kids have to understand and know that we can fight back and we will win. And I will not let this establishment mess me up. I will not let this establishment mess up Black Chicago and especially the South Side of Chicago, because that's what they're really trying to get. There's prime real estate over here. The Inglewood, Bronzeville, South Shore, Auburn, Grisham, Washington Park got the most fiber optics in all of the city of Chicago. That's why they're really trying to get Washington Park. You see what I'm saying? Like this, yeah. They literally are trying to come after us, and that's why they refuse to teach the U.S. Constitution or any of this stuff in these schools. And they don't want to teach our kids that. But guess what? We're going to teach our kids that. And release, yes. There's free Larry Hoover, free Jeff Ford, and pardon Assata. Pardon Assata Shakur. It's time to go home. Everybody, free Kales, free everybody. Everybody that's sitting on a RICO charge, free them, because these people are committing the ultimate RICOs and not getting in trouble in the name of immunity. I had to break down to my attorney the other day because I'm starting to question him because I don't know if they done got to him because they get to everybody. He was trying to break down to me that like this is not what they're doing. What they're doing in my case, what Bradley Wilson doing in the case is not fraud. He just misrepresented the court. Boy, he put a whole fraudulent deed in a case and the judge ruled on it, and that deed was never recorded with Cook County. He did that on purpose. What are you talking about? I had to break down to him and say, sovereign immunity does not protect against fraud, constitutional violations, or bad faith actions. These niggas is going to jail. They're going to jail. I don't know what part of that don't you understand. Yeah. So that's it. It's a RICO, and it's going down, and we're going, and it's going to be because we're going to make history. Chicago's going to make Black history because we can't do it all. We got to move. We got to move as a unit, and that's what we are. We are a unit. We got to take this as one big dysfunctional family. Anybody that tries to go against me fighting the corruption and trying to say that I'm talking bad against this no good mayor, you have Stockholm syndrome. You have Stockholm syndrome, and you're an idiot. And I don't want to, and I'm not going to be associated with a person who has Stockholm syndrome and it's an idiot. Just there's a lady that tried to like defend him the other day, and I had to go in on him. Like, yeah, like you keep saying like really good deflection and all this stuff. Like it's have a good one. Yeah. Girl, you know, like people just are that slow. Girl, bye. Yeah, like you get that's the bad part. But yes, all right, I'm out of here. Any questions? All right, we don't have no questions. All right, I love y'all. All hands on deck. Chicago flips red because it will flip red, and that's what they scared of. But it has to flip red. You have to get some Republicans in there. This cannot continue to be this one party system because we have nobody in there that's willing to represent us. And there's really some scary GOP out here too, because if they were about something, it wouldn't just be one Cook County commissioner that's a Republican, Sean Morrison. The aldermen, I don't know what they got going. There's a few in there that I feel like should be Republican, but I don't know. They scared. You can't win if you go as a Republican. That is insane. That's insane that people have to run as a Democrat in order to get in office here. That's not democracy. That's not freedom. Like that's messed up. And I don't think people realize that. Like the Democratic Party has been nothing but harmful for us. And that's just what it is. So that's that piece, y'all. Peace.